Rest in power to DMX, man. Reach Over Culture podcast. Now we back to the YouTubers. How you doing, man? Welcome, man. Hopefully, if you listening to us, if you watching us, you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, you need to go ahead and subscribe. I forgive you. I forgive you. The unusual suspects, man. Again, my guy Moses Chavez. How you doing, brother?
Doing great.
Now, this next young man is a good dude. Avid supporter of the Reach Over Culture podcast, man. Always reposting, always showing love. We actually did a collab live last year. Shout out to the Shed podcast. Drummer, hooper, multifaceted young man. If you're from the town, and even if you're not from the town, but if you've been around, you know who this is. To know him, to love him, none other than Mr. Dallas Doku.
Hey, man, I appreciate the intro. The king of intros, man.
Hey, man, listen, man.
Man.
And listen, great guy, man. Great guy, avid supporter. Again, I appreciate you for coming through, bro.
Bro, I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Hey, man, you had me on your platform. It was only right. Just real quick, man, I just want to take a moment because I don't necessarily do social media. And so, but I have a lot of family that listens, if I can take a moment. So I had a younger cousin that was killed earlier this week in New Orleans. And this isn't the damp of the episode, but, you know, I didn't really post anything on social media. I didn't put anything on Facebook. That's just not how I handle death. Ever since my stepdad passed, it's just not how I handle it. And so it's been a rough week for the family. And this is my younger cousin, same grandma, whose mother had his mother had a hand in raising me. And we weren't super duper close after Katrina as we've gotten older. He's a younger dude. He wasn't even 21 yet. But, or he might have been 21. But, you know, him, his moms, his siblings, when you hear about some of the horror stories that people had to deal with post-Katrina, being relocated in spaces that weren't familiar, they've seen a lot. I couldn't imagine going through half of the hell that they went through. And he just became a quiet dude, a hard dude with a hard lifestyle, because that's what he knows, that's what he's from. But nonetheless, every time I would see him, it's love, you know, try to give him any encouragement that I can. But I know I'm not there with him every day. At the end of the day, one thing I know about the streets is the people that's in the streets that play by that lifestyle, that play by that code. If you're not in it active with them, there's only so much. And so don't even kill yourself. Love them where they're at and keep it moving. And hopefully that's what I displayed. And I'm emotional for me, but I'm emotional for the family as well, for his older brother, for his sisters and brothers, you know, for his mother, for our grandmother, those who had a hand in raising him and who's been with him up until this time. My little brother is super close with him. And so I'm more hurt for the family. But, you know, for any of the family that's listening and, you know, people that's reached out to me, I appreciate it. You know, it's a tough loss, but it's a loss nonetheless. And, you know, I love the little dude. I'm thankful and grateful for the memories that we did have, you know, and that I did have an opportunity to know him, have an opportunity to show love to him, shake his hand, give him a hug every time I'm in the city. And I'm gonna miss you, dog. I'm gonna miss you. We gonna miss you. But the best thing we gonna do is what we continue to do, is live for you. And this is encouragement to anybody that's playing by a certain lifestyle, playing by a certain code. Man, not to be the dead horse, that code you live by and you love don't love you back. So, you know, we love you, Ja. That's enough of that. I appreciate y'all for giving me that moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. Mortal Kombat coming out. Which Mortal Kombat character on the sticks are you smoking everybody with? You know there's one person, nobody beating you with this one guy. Who's this? Who's the character you? One game. Who the character you going with? We all played Mortal Kombat at some point, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm going with Smoke. I like Smoke. I mean, everybody likes Scorpion. Everybody likes Sub-Zero. I like Smoke. Since Nintendo 64. No, pun intended. I've smoked everybody with Smoke. Since 64, I've smoked.
You need a you need the audience laughter. You need.
You right. I got one better. I've smoked everybody with Smoke, man. I love Smoke. If you give me one character who I think I could smoke anybody with, it would be Smoke. All pun intended. Moses.
Baraka.
I was about to say the same.
That's my home dog.
Yeah, bro. Baraka was my dude.
Yeah. He's just different.
He is,
He's
man.
just different. He got them, like, I don't know, like swords or something.
Yeah, a lot, very much like, I don't know if you knew much about, like, X-23.
Yeah.
Like, it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then, like, a secret, like, I used to use, like, games like that where you have to think and not just hit square to approach basketball. Because, in basketball, when you have a certain level or a certain repertoire, you just, you drive, not even thinking to do, sitting there going to take a charge. So I would use games like that to kind of like, okay, 2 times square, counter with X, all right, hits. And I translate that to basketball to where I'm driving, okay, defender's coming, like, all right, behind the back here, okay. Like, where it taught me to be more in the moment and not like.
Yeah, because you was bullying people.
Bro.
Like, listen. I used to hate playing against this dude.
These dudes used to bully me.
He had one speed, bro, and that was to run you over.
Oh my!
Because he wasn't like he was a strong dude.
Yeah, that was a big guy.
He was a strong dude. He cut up. I thought he played football.
They all said that.
He was a hooper. And so, I first started playing against him. I didn't know if he could shoot or not because he never had to because he was just bullying his way to the rim, bro. One speed, right hand. He going to put his shoulder all in your chest. If you drive and try, charge? What charge? I ain't taking it. You understand? So, no, that absolutely makes a lot of sense because bro had one speed, but then I stopped hooping. I came back and started hooping again. And bro had all these tools and like he had the Euro and he had, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just one speed. Like I remember I'm down the lane and I'm like, all right, I'm actually about to let him shoot the lane.
Like what's the point?
I'm not about to sit here and get ran over. Like, you know what I mean? I was way slimmer back then. I'm not about to sit here and just get ran over. Yeah. And he just probably gonna throw a floater. He gonna shoot the layup this high. I'm not gonna block it.
Yeah.
And so I'm about to move out of the way. But he hit like a Euro. He did the whole shebang. He faked it. And I'm being lazy, reaching. He faked it, went over to the left, finished with the left. I said, no, this nigga just finished with the left on me.
I remember.
Because when the first time I played him, he did not use his left hand at all.
Oh my God. Bro.
But then all of a sudden I came back months later, bro had a left. Okay. So he here with it now.
Yeah.
He wasn't just bullying people no more. He had a step back, you know what I'm saying? He's still working on he had a quick, you know what I mean, mellow kind of, you know what I mean, jab, step back.
Yo.
Listen, man.
Man, people don't know. ROC, P, Matt, all them jokes used to bully me.
Nah, bro.
On Monday nights, if you went up to Raymond to hoop, bro,
nah, bro,
you had to go against the dogs, man. They called it the dungeon. They called it the dungeon. I remember being in the 8th grade, bro. Man, getting tossed around by this dude, and then P would talk trash because P was nice back in the day, man. But
yeah, P was. Man.
He would pop you and talk trash and be like, yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, and then you try to take him.
He had so much intensity, bro.
Bro,
it was so much,
personal.
bro. It's
look, everything
shout out to MJ. Bro, listen, it's so much intensity, but speaking of basketball, how do you feel about the state of your Lakers right now?
Hey, brother, it's been a lot of fasting, a lot of talking to God. Like he had to, I always imagine praying like an operator. Like there are people up in heaven, like the angels are like, oh, well, it's Dallas, and my phone's all dusty, right? It's all dusty. So it's ringing, and the person's just like, oh, it's Dallas. He's like, we haven't heard. Oh, call it. Pick it up. What is he going to say? He said, it's something about the Lakers? But no, a lot of, man, it's just unfortunate, man. And then for us to come from where we were at, where we're like 16 and 6. I remember ESPN blasted us last year with the records of the last 7 years. And we just come off a championship. We're gelling. We have all the key pieces. And then Joker AD goes down with the potential Achilles joint. LeBron goes down. Marcus All don't even want to play in LA. And it's like, in all honesty, I'm Christian, believe in God. I think it's karma. Because I talked so much trash last year. Like, anyone know me, I had a whole list. Hey, Rock, I had a whole list of people that, was talking head. And when we won, I called all of them up. Like, yo, what up now? In a lot of explicit terms. Right. But I think we'll be all right, man. Once everyone comes back healthy. But Brooklyn is. Speak of
the devil, they shall appear. Y'all got them tonight.
Yeah. I got the King James in the car, though.
It's gonna be a long Saturday night for somebody. But nah, really though, man. Y'all will be all right.
Yeah.
Once Brian and AD come back in full strength, I mean, y'all still 5th in the West. It's not that many games left in the season. Y'all pretty much, before y'all get out of playoff contention, they will jump on that floor. Mm-hmm. I think, honestly, y'all probably got another couple of weeks before they just make a miraculous return. But the Lakers are going to be all right. I'm not. If anything, I don't suggest y'all going to playoffs at the 5th. Because right now, if the playoffs ended today, y'all would be playing Denver.
But I'm not scared of Denver.
You don't want them in the first round, though.
That's true.
You don't want them in the first round. Because it would be 4 or 5 in the first round. You don't want them in the first round. So, yeah, I would get out of the 5th. I would do enough to get out of 5th or lose enough to get out of 5th. And, probably get that. If I'm in the bottom 8, I'd probably go 6 or 7. That way you see the Jazz or the Suns. That's first. I mean, shout out to the Jazz, shout out to the Suns. They not scaring anybody in the first round. But yeah, I would get out of that 5th spot. That's a dangerous spot. Or if y'all end up 3rd or 4th, then really, I ain't gonna hold you, man. The way it's looking right now, y'all want to get up in the top 2 or the bottom 2. Because as of right now, y'all ain't got no choice but to play Denver or the Clips in the first round.
2 teams we want to avoid until the end, man.
Yeah. It's scary sights right now. I ain't gonna hold you, but I mean, y'all will be fine though. Like once AD LeBron comes back, it's fine. I'm not panicking at all. I was the person that was telling everybody the Lakers was going to run the. I said, don't cry super team when they win either. I don't want to hear none of that. So as soon as somebody was like, man, I said, shut up. Didn't I tell you the Lakers was going to wreck shop last season? All right, then. Shout out to Brian. All right, man. So Moses is back. Dallas is here with us, man. Just real quick, man. How has everything been, man, emotionally and mentally with y'all, man? I want to take this moment to take this episode to check in just mentally. We're almost halfway through 2021 after a doozy of a 2020. I feel like this year is kind of running slow.
I think it's fast.
You think it's running fast?
Really fast.
See, I feel like it's running slow. I'm like, versus compared to last year, I feel like I blinked and it was June. And I feel like I blinked again and you was on the podcast now. So, but nah, just going around, Moses, you can start, man. How have you been? Where are you mentally and emotionally right now, and how does it compare to last year?
Well, man, I was pretty down and dunk in 2020 because I had a breakup in the very beginning, and I just kind of been progressively getting better because I started counseling like in April last year. But at the end of 2020, I was really sharp, but at beginning of 2021, I've been just kind of off, just kind of staying low key, just kind of staying to myself. I don't know. I would say probably like maybe a 4 or 5.
4 or 5 right now.
Yeah, I'm not the best right now. It's just I don't know. I felt like this year's been really fast.
Yeah,
and I feel like you have this expectation for yourself where you should be or where you see yourself in a couple months,
right.
And that not happening could just make you upset and you frustrated.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm still like stuck in January, like that kind of mindset, and I'm in April and I'm like I'm still that person in January, so I'm like, oh man,
time's moving too quick, man.
Yeah, I feel time's too quickly.
It's not enough time. Bro.
Yeah, exactly, and I feel like I haven't done anything. So it's just been, I've just been battling a lot mentally and stuff like that, just with work and friends and just my relationship with God and just habits and patterns that with sin and stuff like that. Just trying to overcome.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that, bro. Like, I mean, that's 2020 showed us ourselves.
Yeah,
forced you, put you in a position where you had to face yourself, spend a little bit more time with yourself than you normally would, and so you didn't have what? Who you running from?
Yeah,
I'm right here. So then you realize, like we was talking about with Jerry, just I'm not really into that. I'm not into this. Well, who's in my life that I really don't like?
Yeah,
but I act like I like. I really don't like you, not you. I love Moses. But I was like, and this is just me repeating what other people have, came to me with. So 4 or 5, I can definitely understand that, because it's been a mentally tasking year. Dallas, yourself,
man.
Because you know what, I feel like this episode is gonna be very liberating for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because based off what I've seen on social media and stuff like that, it seems like you got people wondering about where you're at, but nobody's asking you anything.
Yeah.
So, how are you, bro?
Man, that's deep. That's real, man. And I feel what you're going through, man. I would say, bro, like, me just keeping it 100, man. Like,
keep it 100, bro. You done been in the atmosphere, bro. We here,
bro.
man.
Yeah, 100%. It's been like, I'd say 2-3, because it's like, God, dog. Like you said, man, you can't run from yourself. And the thing that got me last year, because first of all, the Kobe thing wrecked me. Because, this whole time, like, growing up, Kobe's indestructible. Kobe's the dude you want to be. Yeah. Like, Kobe's the dude that I modeled a lot of the things on and off the court. Like, even some of my mannerisms. Like, I started slapping people on the chest because Kobe was doing it when he greeted somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it became something that, like, I inspired to chase after, inspired to be and stuff. And when he was gone, it made me realize, like, I'm not indestructible. Like, because when I saw that he, like, and especially like that with his daughter, and it just became it was a shock to me. So there was that, and then some other little things. Like, I started to realize, like, I have dad issues. Because, like, growing up, like, you remember when I'd be in the gym, my dad would be in there working me out. Yes, wouldn't have no type of shoes on the court, and pops. But growing up, I started to realize, like, he was more of a coach than a father. And, like, when I needed to go to somebody to learn how to be like a man, when to do this and then the other, like, it was more like, well, if you do this in basketball, like, you do this, and it's just like, okay, I got my mom's telling me what to do. It's just different, man. And then something happened last year, man, where it mentally just effed me, right? Yeah. Like, mentally, like,
You can
okay, man. Hey, I don't know.
Just know I'm not editing it out.
Oh, hey, brother. I didn't know if you had like a KG cuss button, you know.
You know what? For you, I'll go ahead and hit that cuss button for you. Just this is the one time though. This is the one time.
All right, just the one time.
Yeah.
Like mentally just fucked me up.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
But and the thing that I think hurt the most, or the thing that left me so distraught, was that I had nothing to channel it in. I had nothing, and basketball for the longest time was something I could bottle up my emotions and put in a suit. Because when I was at Ram, I was going through shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I was going through a lot. Like, people were dying. People close to me were dying. And it was just off, like, cancer. It was off, like, heart problems. My best friend, Joseph, his birthday was yesterday. And he fell through a roof. It was, like, one thing after another. And my uncle, he died of a heart attack. And I channeled all that and put it into basketball. So I gave, like, the emotions, I suppressed it and gave it a purpose almost. It was very much like, and I don't know how many people watch this, but it was like Danny Phantom, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like, I would go ghost and I would become everything that I neglected. Mm-hmm. And so I would finally feel like how I was supposed to feel when my when my uncle died. And like all the stuff that was happening, because I gave it a purpose. And then fast forward, so when this thing happened in 2020, like towards the end of 2020, I had nothing to channel it towards, so it was just sitting with me. And like, I play drums, and like, I'm doing something that is worship. Like, I want God to flow through me as a vessel. And I can't do that if I'm playing from emotion. I can't if I'm playing from rage or depression or sadness. And so I had to face it. I've never learned how to face my emotions before. Mm-hmm. And it wrecked me. Like, it hit me off something like I've never, like, and I've gone through a bunch, man. Like, basketball is obviously mentally tough, but school, kind of discovering who you are in a sense. But that was very wrecking for me. And it, like, I contemplated, like, suicide a lot, and it's because, like, you don't realize what all, like, you're dealing with, because I've bottled it up and, be like, okay, I'm going to put you on for tonight against Arlington Baptist. And since I didn't have that thing to, go Ghost or Superman into, and, sticking with me and just going through your mind, and it's like, man, so
you can't escape that.
Nah, you can't run from it, and I was used to running from it.
Yeah, so that's. And I mean, a lot of us use our gifts and our talents to scapegoat, hide from stuff that's really going on. So I can definitely understand that, and that's a real thing. I mean, that's the danger with having gifts and talents, is you can hide behind it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like yourselves, man. I told somebody I'm probably like a 5 or a 6. 2020 was just about pressing on. It was about just doing what you got to do, being grateful for the fact that you're still here. Because we didn't know where this pandemic, and none of us had experienced anything like this in our lives, in our generation. There's the older generations, they went through the polio scare and the smallpox scare, and listening to stories of people that was actually quarantined for 2 and 3 months in the early 20s because polio was a thing, and they thought that was going to end the world, and the AIDS epidemic, they thought that was going to end the world, and Y2J. Our generation, this is the first time we experiencing something like this, where people are throwing this end of the world thing out there, as if just being young and trying to figure yourself out wasn't enough. That's enough as it is. Being in your 20s trying to figure stuff out, because you're 23,
27.
So, what do we know? What do we know? It's easy for y'all. You're 50, you're 60, you've seen it. You've been through enough scares, enough mass shootings. Most of the bad things that's happened in this country, you've seen already. But for us, we trying to figure out, man, How do we keep our credit good? Like, it's all these different things. And so I would say I'm at a 5 or 6, man. Even before we, lost a family member this week, I realized I put so much, man. I put so much into even this platform. I put so much into trying to be there for family, and love my people better, and just put great energy out into the world. You lose yourself in that. You forget to take care of yourself in that. I stopped going to counseling. I, stopped meditating as consistently. I stopped doing the things that kept me right. And so you can go off a second win all the time, when you playing ball or whatever you're doing. You just get the second win. And I think 2020 was I caught a second win where I could sustain mentally while staying busy. But now I'm tired. I'm tired now. It's like, all right, reachoverculture, we turn into media group, and we doing all these great things, and I'm in a flow here. Like, this is a flow. This takes little or no effort at this point. But everything else outside, I'm tired. My relationships, I'm tired. They ain't done nothing to me. I'm just tired. You know what I mean? Mentally, I'm just tired. And that's my fault. Because I didn't do my own maintenance. I didn't do enough self-love. And I'm in a space right now where now, like, working out, I gotta build that muscle back up again. I gotta get back in the gym. I gotta start doing the things that got me to a mentally healthy space. But right now I'm at a 4 or 5, but it's only because of myself.
Yeah.
And me not taking care of myself in the way that I know I need to. You understand? So that's where I'm at mentally as well. And my next question for y'all was gonna be, given where y'all at, how do y'all plan on growing from here? I kind of gave my plan, but for y'all as individuals, how do y'all plan on growing from this point?
I think I'm gonna kind of just step back and focus on myself. There's some things that I gotta resolve with myself. I don't know, just being honest. It's just like I feel like I'm not disciplined enough, and I feel like for the past few months I've been just kind of lazy and just kind of procrastinating. And it's just something that I just gotta overcome, and I feel like it's been like this for years. And
do you have a sense of why that might be?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm just like,
I feel like counseling is for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like I sit in comfortability a lot. I sit in and like I don't realize it, and I feel like I need to push myself, and I feel like I need a leader, but not like someone to lead me. I need to lead myself first.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, I don't know, just focus on myself and just do the things I gotta do. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. You want to have more of an action plan, though.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because what you said was great. It's just general.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody plan is for them. So only you know what works for you.
Yeah.
And only you know what you really have to do. But again, that's a part of being, it's part of having a creator and having a being higher than yourself.
Yeah.
We get caught up a lot of times because we forget that we didn't create ourselves.
It's a great reminder.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this is above me. Why? Because I didn't create me. I was formed before I was. My spirit was in the air already. I didn't create me. God created. And so, who am I to try to? I mean, yeah, if I search hard enough, I can find. But who better than go to the person that created the you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did this chair break down, bro? Whoever mainstay owe me some money. You created it. So only you have an answer for why it broke down. I mean, you're not the only one to have an answer, but if I go to anybody for the answer, it'd be that. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, because I didn't start my mental health journey until I was, I just turned 26. 25, 26. So 23, forget about it. 23, I was just trying to stay busy.
Yeah.
I was in the ministry heavy. I was right on the mic. I was busy doing the work of God.
Man, sometimes that's what causes it. Yeah. Man,
just being busy.
Just being busy.
You heard? Like, definitely action plan, man.
Yeah.
And like you said, you self-aware. It takes discipline. It's going to take me sitting down, praying, do whatever you got to do to figure out. And we talked about it before. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do to figure out, yo, what do I need to do to get myself straight? Because at the end of the day, this might be the end of the day. You don't want to go outside. I know you don't want to go outside thinking, getting to the other round and be like, man, I could have did X, Y, and Z. I just was too lazy. It's not a way to go out. And you're better than that. Absolutely. How do you plan on growing from the space that you're in?
Man, like, more people need to be like ROC. Like, more people.
No, sir.
That's a fact.
No, sir.
No, yeah.
I'm just the old head talking. No, sir.
Man, but I found out, like, in 2020, especially, OGs are essential. If you don't have an OG, you need to find an OG. Yeah. Like, luckily, I mean, blessed.
Mentors for those who struggle with
Yeah. My bad. Mentors.
Just for we believe in colloquialisms here.
Okay.
Mentors for those who might be like, what? Mentors.
Because OGs saved my life, and like I'm so blessed. I grew up with ROC and OG, like Nelson, Keys, Paris sometimes, but me and Paris were battling back in the day because it was a lot like MJ Kobe. Like Perry was like, "You're gonna be like Paris." I'm like, "I'm gonna be better than Paris," and but like we formed a brotherhood, within that. But a lot of my Well, I'm going to get to my plan, but I also found out in 2020 I had a lot of church hurt. A lot, and I feel like that will do it faster than anything.
Absolutely.
Because and you went off on it, and I'll wait. Y'all have to watch the episode. But what you said was I almost took off, brother. Almost. I was like, that's hitting.
Appreciate that, bro.
But because you go to a place that the culture is love, the culture is embracing, the culture is, you can mess up, but Jesus died for you, right? And it's like, we welcome you in our family. We're a family. And you do something, then it's like, well, you can't do that. So we're going to sit you over here. So we're going to treat you like we've never met you. And to somebody who isn't really familiar with relationship religion, and they walk, having nothing, and they walk into a church expecting like, this is the one place that this is that I'm going to get accepted, and then they get rejected because they're wearing distressed jeans, or they didn't get their hair done, or they stink. I mean, granted, take care of yourself. You need to wash. You know what I'm saying? That's important. That's important. I'm not saying walk into church and, not have a shower in a couple of days. Yeah.
At the same time.
Man, at the same time,
do everybody else a courtesy.
Yeah, go ahead and get to that Old Spice.
Yeah. Love yourself, love other people.
Yeah, but that's what got me the worst, because I'm like, man, these are people that, have said they have my back, like this, that, and the other, and then they're doing the exact opposite. So I was super bitter. But anyways, I have a lot of church hurt, which I'm slowly getting rid of, because I have to remember people are people. Like, I can't look at them to act like how Jesus acted, even though they're supposed to. Like, that's we all try. But people are people. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But my plan, man, I'm actually taking it now. Not a lot of people know. Only a few of my close friends know that I'm doing counseling. Good, shout out to Plumline. Shout out to Plumline Ministries.
Shout out to everybody that does mental health work.
Fact. Shout out to y'all, everybody. Bro. And man, one thing that my counselor made me do, because I grew up, I got bullied a lot before I came up, right? Yeah. So middle school, early high school was the worst time for me. And
same.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like that for everybody, but it's like the degree you go through is what determines how effed up you are.
Yeah.
And what I learned in counseling is so she told me to watch this movie, The Kid. I don't know if anyone's seen The Kid, the Disney movie, The Kid.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, man, I'm not watching this whack movie. You know, this movie was in the 60s. Like, man, they still have flip phones that look like, you know, it's just ridiculous. So I watched the movie, and it was crazy how much, like, how familiar it was to my life. Like, it resonated, like, it was insane. And that's what, like, and then one thing, that's what led to this. So it's like, I'm comfortable being emotional now. Mm-hmm. Like, because before, I didn't want to be emotional. Like, that's for light skins. No offense at all. That's for Drake-like people. You know, that's for take care, you know. And I was like, man, I'm meek, you know, dark skin, you know. Before Nicki, though. Everything went down after Nicki.
It did.
But I'm like, man, like, it's okay for me to cry. And that movie wrecked me because of how familiar it was. Like, yes, I try to hide from my kid Dallas self. And I remember that kid Dallas, like, always getting beat up. Like, I was the only black kid at school. I didn't make the basketball team. Like, I would always get in, like, people would say crazy stuff to me. And it was this moment of loneliness that, you know, in that moment, you know, just, like, I developed a lot of hate, a lot of staying to myself and all that kind of stuff. So now that I'm recognizing, okay, so this is why I act here. Right. And I'm starting to get in, like, okay, now that I'm facing it, it's like I've cried more this year than I've ever cried in my life.
Wow.
Like, and I don't say that to be like, you know, light skins, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it's because, like, I'm healing now. Yeah. Like, all the stuff I put on the back burner I would only put on at 7:00 on Fridays.
Yeah.
You know, I'm facing and embracing, and I like where I'm going, man. And I'm starting to, like, I see it like this. So life is, like, people say life is about finding yourself. I say it's like, it's creating yourself. So, like, in life, I'm finally being able to create myself and get out the narrative of being, like, this dude who was a perfect church kid, always smiled and stuff. And a lot of things that drew me crazy was, like, I felt this, like, emotion. I felt like all the stuff that I couldn't express. Like, there'd be times on the gram I just want to yell, like, fuck, you know? And it's like, I can't do that because I got kids following me and this following me. But then I learned, like, I can't be the example to your kids. Like, you're supposed to be, as a parent, the example. And I'm like, one thing, and this is straight from Last Dance, but, like, if what I do inspires you, and then, you know, I'll keep doing that. I'll keep that energy. And But if it's not, then you're not supposed to, like, I'm not the person you're supposed to be following.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of what my depression and everything started was trying to be their narrative of the perfect example for people to look up to. And when I'm doing that, I'm losing myself. I'm adapting different characteristics and personalities and I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So a lot of that now, like me this year, I'm just like, you can like me, you don't have to like me. I have my circle, like, and we're all dogs. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you don't like me, it is what it is. And a lot of it's healing. So my plan, all that to say, my plan, counseling, you know, just healing and not running from emotions. So,
and I mean, you're heavily active as a drummer. Like, you drum it. I mean, how many gigs are you doing a week? Because I feel like every time I see him, like, on the ground with something, he's got a drumstick in his hand. He's super duper active. So it's not only that you're doing counseling, that you're facing yourself, but you're being active in something that you're passionate about. You know what I mean? You're utilizing your gifts. It's a perfect balance. Perfect balance. A lot of people don't have that, don't understand that, and don't know what that is, or are doing a lot of things, like we said with Jerry, that they're not really passionate about, and it tears you up from the inside out. Mm-hmm. I told Moses before, like, you know, I feel like that's where some of his struggle may come from. You get up, you go to a job that you don't like going to every day, or it just doesn't get you going. That gets to you at some point. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, why am I here?
Yeah.
I mean, I you know, you got to live.
Yeah.
You need to make money. You got to live. You need the resource. Why am I here, though? Like, I don't want to do this. I don't work on these people's cars. I don't want to do this. I hate it. But if you don't have a balance of, but you know, and he was honest, he was open, honest about it, you know, about being in a space where I just gotta stop procrastinating. I gotta get over my own personal things. It's so important, bro. So not only does Dallas do counseling and he's in the search for healing, but he's also doing something that he's passionate about. Is my stint on that. Is he's actually doing something that he's passionate about. And I agree with a lot of what you said, bro. This is what I'm passionate about. That's what I do. I'm balancing, not hiding behind it. Because I've never went this hard at it. Like, I found a floor. I found a new space of just being in that zone where everything's just kind of tunneled out. And everything that I do is catered towards this. But now it's about half past time for me to look outside of this and say, yo, Heem, are you okay? Are you good? Mm-hmm. I even had one of those moments this morning. I'm praying. I'm like, God, I'm not good. Not bad. It could be way darker. I'm not great. I gotta get some stuff figured out, man. And I can do that and still do this at the same time. It's just priorities. Listen to your priorities and getting your priorities straight. And man, I mean, in the other questions I had, man, y'all answered a lot of them within your own answers. So I don't want to drag the episode longer than what it has to be because I feel like y'all have given great insight. Let me ask y'all this though, on the cuff. Why do you feel like our generation is afraid to admit that we struggle with these different things? Mentally and emotionally. Like, it's becoming more and more of a conversation now. Yeah. It is more of a topic now. But still a lot of people that don't want to admit when they need help or when they need a push or when they need somebody to talk to. Why do y'all feel like that is? Do y'all feel like it's because of social media? Is it because we don't want our parents to look at us crazy? Like, if you had to pinpoint something, why do you think that a lot of people in our generation still have a tough time dealing with their mental health?
I feel like people. I feel like as a person yourself, like if you have those issues, I feel like you don't want people to look at you as like weak or handicapped or lower. Because I feel like when like a celebrity comes out, whatever, I got mental issues now. It's like everybody just shuns them down, and like something's wrong with them.
Yeah,
they feel like being like having a mental breakdown. Having like a mental breakdown, whatever, is not normal. It's like it's weird. It's like, well, what's wrong with you? But it's 100% normal. Like, everybody has emotions. It's just you were strong enough to project your feelings and saying, hey, I need help.
My only thing with Kyrie was I didn't like the way he handled the situation.
No, he didn't handle it right.
Because he didn't say anything until he actually came back. We all figured he was figuring himself out mentally. But the fact that you never said anything.
Yeah.
As a professional athlete, you get paid. You're obligated. Not to give us a full scoop, but to at least let us, like, yo, I'm dealing with things mentally right now. I need a little bit of a break. I need some time. He didn't do any of that until he actually came back. So, people give him a hard time. And I even gave him a hard time for just the way he handled it. But, everybody in the community and the basketball fans know this is what you struggle with. Just be upfront about that at first, which I feel like we do a lot. We act out first instead of just being upfront with what we're dealing with. And then it leads people to think, like, what I do? Like, be upfront first, so that way if I do snap, I told you.
Like, you had a warning.
You got a warning.
Like when a rattlesnake shakes its tail, like, it's agitated.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, but that was a great answer, Dallas. Why do you feel like a lot of our generation still struggle with admitting that they need help?
First of all, I forgot to give a shout out to one of my OGs, Josh and Brandon Frazier, man. Brandon's been with me in the trenches, man. So shout out to that dude. But I would say a lot of it, I mean, for me personally, like, I don't want my mom to know, like, that she wasn't a bad parent, but I know she'll take that personal. Mm-hmm. So I don't tell her I go to counseling because, like, my mom loves me, right? Yeah. Like, I came out of her, right. You know what I'm saying? And she raised me. Right. And it's just different, like, to know that your son has gone through this the whole time. Yeah. And, like, I didn't help him not feel that way. So there's that. And then, like, social media plays a big part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like, I would say people don't want to get help because there's the judging factor, but you look on Instagram and it's people doing this, people doing that, people succeeding doing this, and then you're often attacked. Like, oh, he just wants attention. Like, people don't feel comfortable opening up because they feel like the agenda is skewed. Yeah. You know, and for me, opening up, like it would make it seem, it would give people also an invitation to be in my life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why some of my posts, like, only few people, like, I know you notice, like Nelson, Brandon, Dwayne, D-Red, all them, like, when I would post certain things, they'd be like, yo, you good? Yeah. Because they know me. But I'm not going to go out there and say on social media, like, hey, man, like, I'm really depressed, I'm contemplating suicide, this, that, and the other, because then all of a sudden, all these road people, just to say they did the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know, not, I mean, it could be, you know, they have a good heart. It could be. Yeah. But they just want to be included, and they want me to open it up to them. And I'm a very private person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Almost to a fault. Yeah. So, like, when people, like, if I were to post all this and be like, I'm depressed, I don't want to live, like this, then the other, as an outlet, the people that would reach out to me wouldn't be able to feed me anything. They'd just be there to be nosy. And they'd be like, well, we'll pray for you. Are you? Like, are you? You don't have to wait until midnight to pray for me. Like, we can FaceTime and you from there. So, I mean, I feel like it's a whole collection of things, but I feel like trust factor. Yeah. The trust factor of being like, yo, I'm not doing this to look for attention. I'm actually struggling. You know, so I think that's kind of what plays into it.
No, it makes a lot of sense, man. I would echo a lot of what y'all said. It's trust. Especially with the parents, you know, because that's a whole nother. Yeah. That's a whole nother. I did what? What you mean? I made you feel this? No.
Especially African parents, brother.
I wasn't even gonna get into that dynamic of your situation.
Yo.
You know what I mean? Because that culture is just a different type of time. It's a different time, even from African American black culture.
Yeah.
It's just different, bro. It's just different. But yeah, that was a great one. Parents typically don't have an easy time hearing stuff, you know, from their kids. Social media, it feeds in a lot of reasons why I hate social media and why I don't have my own personal one. Because mentally, it wrecked me. You get in this space, you start to feel like, man, I got to keep up with the Joneses. And it's exactly what it's programmed to do. I watched a documentary not too long ago. I can't remember the name. It was on Netflix. But it literally went down the dynamics of how social media is here to control what you like.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I've really, man, me and Rob was just talking about it.
Social dilemma?
Social dilemma.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here just flabbergasted, already being hip to the science. I'm hip to what's going on. But to see it in context, to see it in full play, man, it's just another tool and another resource to create this delusion of this life that you think you want, of these people you think you want to be like. And it's tough. It's tough not to do that. But man, it's so much going on in the world right now, and it's all in your face, bro. So you face so much out there in the real world. Where do you fit in any of it? You got social media. You got what they saying in the actual media. You got your parents, you got your friends who's affected by social media and their parents. Everybody's tuning to everything that's going on at the exact moment. The focus is constantly shifting. And if you trying to ingratiate yourself socially in any form or fashion, there's so much going on. How do you have time to figure out what you got going on or what you like and don't like? I credit me being able to do that just from the time that I'm from. At the end of the day, I'm a 92 baby. I'm not 30 yet. I've grown up during the information era. I've also grown up during a time where you had to get information a strong way. Elementary school, I went to the library. Had to. Like, there was no cell phones. AOL was just getting popped off. You understand?
He's out there with MySpace.
Listen, before MySpace, Black Planet. You understand? Zynga, like,
yo,
come on, bro. Like, so I'm fortunate that I was born at the time that I was born, because I know life without the level of technology that we have. And so, getting into a life of technology, I just started to understand, yo, this is all the smoke screen. This is bullshit. Half of this is real. You know what I mean? Except Reach-Over-Culture podcast.
No, yeah.
Everything that we say, we do, we put online, we said it, we did it. It's in the facts. But yeah, like and so I had to. I've not had my own personal Instagram since 2019 for that reason. It's just so much, bro. It's too much for me mentally. I don't care about keeping up with people that much. But depending on the media you digest, it makes you feel like you got to care about what people are doing and not doing, and where they're happy and not happy. You know what I mean? People I talk to, it's like, yeah, man, I just don't understand why I can't be happy like my friends. Based on what? Based on, they post, they in Cancun, they're here, they in Vegas, they in Miami, they in Aruba. You think they happy? They might be happy. You might, but how do you know? Did you actually take the time to ask them how they're doing? Or did you just assume because they were in this space they were happy? It's trickery and it's foolery, man. And hopefully we get into a space where we can stop it. At the end of the day, I want everybody to live their truth. I want everybody to run freedom, to have freedom in saying when they need help, bro. Because this has been it's a lot going on right now. It's too much going on right now. We need a true north. Our north as believers is God. Him sending his son down in Jesus. That's our true north. And we still playing by some of the same religious rules. We still shunning people. We still condemning people to hell. 27, 23, 28. The Bible exceeds all of our lifespans 10 times over. But yet we can tell we got the nerve to shun people out of the church when the church was here long before our existence, bro. So it's not just social media. It's not just the media. It's not just the news. It's the very thing that we go to for refuge sometimes. Some of these same houses in this country, bro, that's supposed to be a place where you can go and worship, get fed spiritually, that leads to your emotions, that ultimately leads to your mental, do a horrible job. And leave us in the wreckage for it. I think about stuff like that, man. This universe, everything around us is way beyond our control, way beyond what we can see. This stuff is deeper than us, bro. Mentally, we got to stay straight. We got to. Our future, the future of our kids, the future of the human race depends on the fact that we get the help that we need, man. And I know I went off on a tangent for people, but I really want y'all to think about this. Because this is how I think about it. As I'm only going to be here for, I'm a grain of sand. The word says it. We grains of sand. We here today, we going tomorrow. The least we can do for the generation coming up next is to make talking about mental health normal. Because best believe there's a lot of other issues in this world that strim far beyond. When you talk about the system of oppression, when you talk about why my cousin was killed as a result of the systematic oppression that we face in this country. Trickling down to it, his personal decisions, the oppression that we face in this country, the fight that we still have as minorities, all three of us, the love that we still trying to find for people that surround us. We can't do any of that shit if we don't love ourselves first. All of it is futile. That's the end of my long rant. It's important that you figure out the least you can do on this earth is figure out and love the person that God created you to be. Because unless you do that, you're no good to anybody else outside of yourself. Nobody. Because everything else outside of this, everything outside of yourself, and this is what I got to in 2019, I'm done. My main phrase was, it's above me. Everything that was out of my control, I let be out of my control. I didn't worry about it. I didn't allow it to affect my mental. The best thing I can control is myself. The best thing I can invest in is myself and my mental. Because everything else outside of here is up for question. Except the love of Jesus. It's up for question. Everything else outside of this is up for question. Everybody outside of me is up for question. I don't know. I don't know what y'all may be dealing with at the time. But the best thing I can do is take care of myself. So please, if you hear nothing else from this podcast, and if you made it this long, focus on your mental and love yourself. Because you're the only person you leaving with when you leave this earth. Bottom line. You're not leaving with nobody else. It's just going to be you. Love yourself, bro. Love your church, but love yourself. Love your job, but love yourself more. Love your family, but love your family enough to love yourself first. Then you can love them the way they need to be loved. Be honest. And part of that is being honest. Part of that is admitting when you need help. Are you okay? I'm not that okay. Moses admitted he's not that okay. That was admitted. I'm not okay. But because we can admit that, we're gonna be all right. Any other last remarks? I'm done off my soapbox.
That was kind of crazy. I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what's this dude going to AD for? I'm gonna support this dude, man. I'm gonna look like I know what he's talking about. But I was like, I am lost in the mud.
The Jerry interview, I'm already thinking 20 minutes.
Yeah. But when you started rapping in there, I was like, man, this dude's different. Yeah. The way this dude thinks is different. But no, I really love what you said, man. And I really love yourself first. Because that's essential. You was talking about that with the last episode.
Bro, I can cry thinking about it, bro.
Bro, I almost,
I can cry thinking about it. Mm-hmm. You know how many of us struggle and hurt because we don't really love who we are. Mm-hmm. We don't really love the person that we want so bad what somebody else got. We wish we had their talent. We wish we had what they were doing. I know it, bro. People are taking themselves out, bro, because they're not satisfied with the person that God created them to be.
Yeah. Because
the world told you that something else was dope. Mm-hmm. No, my nigga, you're dope. Mm-hmm. You're dope. I'm a sanitation engineer. You love cleaning naturally. When you clean a room, it's a different level of peace in the room.
Like, what you do matters, man.
What you do matters. But that's not successful in the world. And you can turn your love for cleaning into a full business. But no, the world told you that you needed to be a rapper.
Mercy. Yeah.
This stuff is insane. Not to cut you off. This stuff is insane.
No, that's a dope perspective.
We in the Matrix, dog.
100. Bro, I was just about to say Inception, but that works too. Man.
Yeah. That's why I love those movies.
There's always a deeper meaning in it. And it's like once you watch it a couple of times, you're like, you know, when you get enough of you're like, okay, I really got it. But it's definitely like the comparison, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, especially in music, because in music, jokers come out the womb just taking adults' jobs. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people like Maverick City, you have people like Elevation, who are changing the game.
Yeah.
Then you look at like Chandler Moore, you're like, man, I need to do this in order to be like this, because he knows this, he has this following.
Why is he doing that though?
Yeah.
Because he knows who he is.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's comfortable with him.
That's the thing.
You imagine if Shaq tried to be Kobe.
Yo. You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? This is a God thing. Like, you know, shout out to Kanye and, Ultralight Beam.
Yes, sir.
But, well, you talking about that, because the other day I was in my thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And people who know me know I talk about, like half my vocabulary is, like, cartoons and movie references.
Right.
So
That's
I was
dope.
thinking about Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't understand, like, how powerful that movie is. Like, he wasn't ready to be king. Like, he was saying that he wasn't ready to be king. He had to go... He saw his dad die. Like, think about everything he went to. Then he found Hakuna Matata. He found the people that were, you know, upwards. Yeah, in that season. And then Nala came and reminded him, like, you need to go get what you're... Then, when he found his identity, the energy he went to go fight Scar with, like, that... Like, when I was watching that movie, I'm like... He didn't know who he was. But when his dad was like, remember who you are. People... make fun of that movie or like say remember who you are. I'm guilty of it, but remember, like, once he remembered who he was, like, I'm Simba, I'm not Mufasa, I'm Simba, and I'm gonna take, and then look how he was as a king. When, like, sometimes God, and I'm figuring this out in my life, like, God won't give you something immediately.
No.
Like, immediately. He can't because you're not ready for it yet.
Don't trick it out.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Bro, can you, like, the amount of stuff that we complain about, that we do and don't have, can we be honest and say, nah, it's probably best I didn't get that at that moment in time.
100%.
Because I wasn't motivated enough.
I didn't know how much it
I
cost.
struggle
I didn't know
too
how much
bad
it
with
means.
procrastination right now. So no, God can't give me the next step until I get out of this step.
Yeah,
People try to
Get consistent in this first before I could see a television network for Reach Over Culture, bro. I gotta do this. I can't skip steps, bro. Once I got that resolved, bro, it changed everything. I can't skip steps. I can't afford to go halfway with this. I can't skip steps. Raheem, before you get to a full network where you're doing movies and doing everything that you dream about doing, you gotta just come on, man. This ain't a Mac. I can't skip steps, bro. So I got but we dissatisfied with that, man.
We're dissatisfied with the process because it's not immediately. Because it's
another result of social media.
It's another result because you see microwave dog. You see, like, off YouTube too. People get famous off walking their dogs, and you're like, well, I got to figure out. It's crazy how much, like, people put into, like, how to get famous instead of, like, how to get better.
But check it. Even when you look at, because I used to do that with YouTubers. Logan Paul said something ill. He said, I posted on YouTube every day for 4 years straight before I got to 1 million followers. It's hard enough putting these podcasts on YouTube. I couldn't imagine putting a YouTube video on, finding something to do or talk about every single day. Content to do every single day. As ridiculous as I may feel like it is, that's work, bro. That's work. Because I'm not up late with that man when he editing the YouTube video, making sure it get out on time. Like, I'm not keeping him lit. You understand? It's the process, bro. But when we're not comfortable with ourselves and who we are, we struggle and we look at what everybody else got going on, bro. Forget what everybody else got going on. Support people where they at, but forget what everybody else got going on.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Support people where they're at, man.
Shout out to everybody that watch us. We about to wrap up, but shout out to everybody that listen. Even if you made it this far, man, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I get hit constantly, bro. You doing your thing. We loving it. Bro, I need that type of ambition. I need your formula. Shout out to Dallas. Like, I get those compliments often. Now. Imagine if I stopped when we only had 20 followers. We used to yo, how can we get our followers up? That was damn near the last half of the year. Yeah. What we in the year with? 160, 170? At 320? We ain't even halfway into the year yet. Everybody love the content. This content didn't come from everybody liking the pod. It just came from what was in here, bro.
That's bruh. That's facts. That's
so even with even people that, yo, man, bro, if I can just get like, don't get like me, get like you.
That part.
Yeah.
Don't get like me, get like you.
There's already one me.
When you find you gonna find the truth, and when you find your truth, ain't nothing anybody gonna be able to do with you. I'm only working out a truth here right now, bro. I'm only working out a truth. God is giving me the content because I'm just being truthful in my prayers. Like, I don't come up here and talk about nothing I don't struggle with. I'm not giving advice on nothing that I haven't struggled with or that I'm not fighting through or that I haven't conquered. I'm not up here selling wolf tickets. Bro, shout out to everybody that support Reach Over Culture, but if you looking at this platform and you looking at our little 320-something followers, or looking at the consistency that we do the YouTubes and this, that, and the third, and look at, man, how's y'all just putting out content? And if you're looking at that and saying, man, I can't do that, shut up. You can. Just stay up a couple late nights. You'll get it done. You understand? Like, don't compare yourself. It's healthy comparison, don't get me wrong. It is such thing as healthy comparison. Yeah. Healthy comparison is good. When you started doing the Shared podcast, I was like, yo, I gotta get on my job.
Mamba mentality, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Mamba mentality.
I gotta get on my job. He hitting the ground running. I gotta get on my job. You know what I mean? When I see different people doing their thing, Paris, like, I'm like, MC, my immediate circle, where I'm like, yo, I don't want to be the dude at the table with nothing going on. I gotta get on my job. But if I was really comparing myself, I'd try to rap. If I was really, that's the difference. It's a healthy comparison. Hey, yo, like this is the difference between an unhealthy comparison and a healthy comparison. I looked at them and said, nah, find your creativity, find what you like to do,
find your niche,
jump out the window. A lot of people be looking at me crazy that knew me growing up, like, yo, you have a podcast? You ain't talk, right? It's abnormal, it's out the way, but it's original for me. I can easily hit up, yo, bro, I'm trying to rap now. No, this is me. This is where I scored 30 right here. This is where I hit 30. But imagine if unhealthy comparison says, yeah, I'm 28 and I just figured out that I want to rap. Oh, no. Now, I got bars.
Bruh.
I'm ready to rap battle right now. Kinda. World 4-5 can't join them. No asset. Don't know. Learn how to create a hook at this time in life. Not for me. But unhealthy comparison would have me believe, like, yo, if Paris is lit, I can be lit. No, I'm gonna be me. And people love Reach Over Culture for what it is. People love Moses. My family loves Moses. They're like, yo, like you said, he learning. Yeah. Some episodes be like, yo, do he talk? And some episodes be like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But he himself, gotta love it. Love yourself, man. Love yourself. Anything else, man? Because I actually, in Dallas has been here for a few hours at this point. We were running real behind, And he's been a trooper and a champ, and I applaud you for that, my G, and I appreciate you, and I owe you one. Any other words, man? Any other words before we dip out, get out? Because this has been, I don't know about y'all, this has been therapeutic for me.
Yeah, this has been good.
And I prayed about this episode prior to today. I just pray that it would be releasing for any and everybody who, you know, had the ears to hear and just even have made it up into this hour 24. I pray that this would be freeing for everybody. Like, you're not alone, bro, and we just as jacked up as you are. But we all gonna figure it out, including yourself, who's ever listening to this. We getting true north, we tapping in with our creator, and we gonna get it figured out, because he gonna help us get it figured out. Anything that y'all got to say? I
would say find you.
Yes, sir.
The real person inside you, your creativity is already inside you. When God took his breath into your mom's womb and formed you, he already had all those gifts formed inside you. Whatever, if you're chasing creativity, you're chasing all those things of seeing what other people are doing, like, it's already inside you. You just don't know it yet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, first off, I just want to say thank you, man. And this won't be no Hall of Fame speech or nothing like that, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Moses, the sea splitter, man. So effing proud of you, man.
Thank you.
The growth has been like I'm throwing you your flowers, man. Like, I'm not saying you were, trash or nothing, but I was like nervous. I was like, because when Rock first brought you on, I was like, man, brother, don't talk. You know what I'm saying? I was like, buddy, you only said a few words because I met you at that one joint. Yeah. I was like, buddy only said like hi and see ya. You know what I'm saying? What's he doing about? But just like in like your content, like the way you approach stuff, your sentence forming, like the little things, like it. You're going places, man.
Thank
and
you.
Then Rock, the dog himself, man. I appreciate you for being an OG, big bruh to me, man. You a leader, man. You different. I really appreciate this podcast. This podcast is like I share it because I believe in it. I don't share it just to get it shared on your story.
Yeah.
I share it because it's something that like you're passionate about, and I'm the type of person I'll support my brothers. Even if you're out there doing your thing, you ain't supposed to be doing it. I love you, and if you believe that you're supposed to be doing it, I'm gonna support you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my opinion if you ask.
Right.
Like if you out there 38 and trying to go to the league, and you 860, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, hey brother, I know your grind, man, but you might want to go get that credit, dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But no, and I really appreciate this platform. Shout out to reachoverculture. Shout out to the Shed, man. Shout out to everybody being the better you. Because as corny as it sounds, there's only one you. Why not be the greatest at it? You know what I'm saying? So,
because you only get so much time to do it. And today might be your last day being you.
Yeah.
So you might want to find you, love you, and be you to the best of your ability. And more than anything, man. Again, God is love. God is love. God reigns in love.
Also, it's okay not to be okay.
Exactly.
That's one thing my counselor told me, because I'd always be like, no, it's all good. She's like, you need to start saying it's not okay.
It's not okay.
And, if you're out there and you're struggling, man, find yourself someone you trust, or reach out to reachoverculture, and, they will refer you to somebody.
Yeah.
Yes, shout out to @Joy Christian Counseling, man. Joy Christian Counseling. Shout out to them, man.
And Plumline Ministries, man. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. God is love, man. 1 John 4:7.
Amen.
God is love. Beloved, let us love one another. For love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. So love yourself, man. We're gonna end it out. Again, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. It's a little longer than normal, but I appreciate you. I appreciate my dog Moses. Appreciate my dog Dallas for coming through. He'll be on more seasons this episode. He'll be on more episodes this season. And we appreciate you, man. If you're interested in sponsoring the Reach Over Culture podcast, make sure you email us at reachoverculture@gmail.com. And if you want to donate, Cash App, Reach Over Culture. just continue to follow the movement, man. Follow the product as we follow the one. And we're going out on another DMX note, man. Again, rest in power to DMX. Prayers up for his family, his loved ones. Rest in power, Taja. And prayers up for my people. And it's going to be all good, man. This is DMX, Who We Be, to end it out. Reach Over Culture Podcast. We out.